Have you ever experienced the feeling that the people around you are simply using you? Discovering that someone you interact with on a daily basis is only there for their own convenience rather than out of genuine affection can be incredibly painful. However, it is crucial to identify these individuals so that you can protect yourself and adjust your behavior accordingly. In the Zen story that follows, you will learn about 10 teachings that can help you determine if someone is using you. Take a moment to get comfortable and stay until the end, as we guarantee that after listening to these teachings and the final moral of the story, you will know exactly how to safeguard your inner peace from such individuals. But before we proceed, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and share this video. By doing so, you will assist us in creating new valuable content every day for your spiritual growth. In a serene monastery nestled in the mountains of Japan, the wise and elderly monk, Chomi, decided to impart a lesson on the signs that indicate the selfish intentions of those who come into our lives. His disciples, eager for knowledge and personal growth, gathered around him, ready to glean new insights from Buddhist wisdom. Chomi stated, "Wisdom lies in our ability to interpret the teachings that the world and the people around us present to us." The first lesson he shared was about smiles. A genuine smile is like a warm ray of sunshine that touches the heart. However, when a smile is forced and the eyes of the person smiling do not reflect true joy, it is a clear indication of hidden intentions. Chomi pointed towards the monastery garden, where vibrant flowers bloomed in all their beauty, and reminded his disciples, just as a flower opens itself to the light, a sincere person opens themselves to the truth. But if you notice a false smile, be aware that deception lies behind it. A young disciple inquired, "But how can we recognize a fake smile? How can we be certain that it is not genuine?" Chomi responded wisely, "Look into the eyes. They are the mirror of the soul. If the eyes do not participate in the smile, then it is undoubtedly fake. If they remain distant and aloof, then there exists a void between their words and their emotions." Imagine encountering an old friend who, despite wearing a smile, appears somewhat distant. You notice that the usual brightness is missing from their eyes. You attempt to engage them in a meaningful conversation, but their expression remains unchanged, and the smile quickly fades away. It is important to remember that an empty smile may be accompanied by rigid facial movements, as if the person is merely displaying an emotion rather than genuinely experiencing it. Therefore, if a smile lacks brightness, is short-lived, and the facial movements appear stiff while the eyes fail to reflect the smile, it indicates that the person is putting on an act. As the monk and his disciples walked together in the gardens, he pointed towards a small bird gracefully hovering in the sky. The second indication is the lightness of the soul. A sincere individual is akin to a free bird soaring in the sky, unburdened by weights or chains that hold them back. On the other hand, those with selfish intentions and hidden motives resemble a caged bird, constantly seeking personal gain. As the disciples observed the birds dance in the air, Chomi added that individuals with ulterior motives can easily be identified by their behavior and words, which feel forced. The third lesson in understanding if someone intends to use us is awareness, continued the master. If you sense that someone is attempting to ensnare you for their own benefit, it is crucial to be aware of your own state. Only through awareness can you break free from the cage and liberate your soul. Continuing their stroll through the monastery gardens, Chomi pointed towards the flowing river water. "The fourth sign is fluidity," he explained. "Genuine relationships flow effortlessly, much like the unhindered flow of a river. However, if you notice obstacles, resistance, or manipulation, it is a clear indication that the relationship is not sincere. Imagine you are engaged in a conversation with an acquaintance and you begin to notice certain patterns. Each time you ask a question, you receive brief and detailed answers. Any attempt to delve deeper into the conversation is met with rejection or ignorance. Furthermore, this person appears constantly distracted, either looking away or checking their phone. Their behavior exudes nervousness and impatience, as if they would rather be somewhere else. In light of this, one of the disciples asked a thought-provoking question: "What can we do to safeguard our emotional well-being if we find ourselves being manipulated?" Chomi, with his penetrating gaze, responded with the fifth signal: courage. He emphasized the importance of having the courage to resist manipulation, comparing it to a rock that stands firm against the currents of a river. Each of us possesses a unique identity, and it is crucial to protect this individuality. Therefore, when faced with manipulation, remember to anchor yourself to your deepest authenticity. Satisfied with the disciples' strong interest, the monk pointed towards the starry sky that stretched above them. He introduced the sixth signal, constancy and authentic presence. He explained that those with sincere intentions resemble the stars in the sky, always present even during the darkest nights. On the other hand, those solely driven by self-interest are akin to shooting stars, shining brightly for a fleeting moment before disappearing. A young disciple raised a valid concern, asking how one can be certain of someone's steadfastness. The monk acknowledged that there may be instances where a person momentarily drifts away, but this does not necessarily make them false. CHI, in his usual wise manner, responded by explaining that in order to determine if someone is a constant presence in your life, you must apply the seventh teaching that he has prepared for you, observation. By observing people's behavior over time, you can discern their true character. It is important to remember that repeated actions reflect a person's true nature. For instance, when sharing a personal story with someone, an authentically present individual will be fully engaged in your narrative. They will maintain eye contact, respond with appropriate facial expressions, and demonstrate active listening. On the other hand, someone lacking authentic presence may appear distracted, avoid eye contact, and respond mechanically with monosyllables, indicating a superficial connection. As they strolled beneath the ancient trees of the monastery, Chomi pointed to the deep roots that intertwined with the earth. He explained that the eighth sign of authentic relationships is depth. Just like trees draw essential nutrients from the earth through their deep roots, genuine relationships also require a strong foundation. However, those who are only interested in surface-level interactions, lacking a desire to build a relationship based on true affection, are akin to grass that withers at the slightest breeze. Consider the scenario of two friends facing a difficult period. The friend with deep roots in the relationship will actively offer practical and emotional support. They will share similar personal experiences, creating a stronger bond. On the other hand, a friend with shallow roots may show momentary interest, but lack long-term commitment, revealing a less solid connection. A disciple raised a question about encountering individuals who do not possess deep roots, behaving towards them like the grass Chomi mentioned. In response, Chomi introduced the ninth teaching, wisdom. Understand the essence of your relationships and make wise decisions when someone demonstrates that they lack or do not desire to have deep connections. If this is the case, it is best to let them go without any regrets. The monk pointed towards a distant lighthouse on the coast and spoke about the teachings of guidance. A genuine person is like a lighthouse, illuminating the path ahead. However, if you discover that someone is leading you towards danger, it is time to change your course. So, what is the moral of this story and what does it teach us? Before watching the video, if you enjoy it, please support the channel with a super thanks. This will enable us to create more valuable content for you. Now, let us delve into the moral of the story. Each season holds its own secrets, just as our lives do. We have explored together the signs that indicate who is truly there for us, solely for our benefit. Remember, life is like a garden that thrives on sincere relationships. However, it can also harbor weeds that attempt to suffocate its beauty. We have learned to recognize these weeds, the signs that unveil hidden intentions. Now that you possess this knowledge, it is crucial to maintain your wisdom. Do not reject anyone who approaches you, but remain aware. Be like a wise gardener who carefully cultivates, eliminating weeds without ever ceasing to nourish what is authentic. A young disciple raised his hand and asked, "But how can we truly distinguish between those who are sincere and those who are false?" Smiling, the monk replied, "The answer lies within you. Listen to your heart with serenity. Sincerity resonates like a harmonious melody, while deception creates a discordant note. Do not be afraid to distance yourself from those who do not bring peace and mental well-being to your inner garden.